Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with a amateur version of swapping out some components and components that I'd already swapped out of this Acer case right here, and I'm going to move it into this Antec case right here. You can see that there is a size difference. This is my Acer case. That's my Antec case. Now the reason why I'm moving it into this case is the additional fanage, right? Fans, the additional slots for drives. If I ever decide to add additional hard drives, I'll have those additional slots there. It is the power supply will be on the bottom, and the cable management is a lot better in this case. This case is great for a server actually, but this case will have slots here, and there's an actual section behind the motherboard and your drives that you can store the majority of your wiring and your cables, and that way it wouldn't be in your way or causing any airflow restriction on your server and all the fans. Okay, now there is a problem with this setup compared to this setup. I didn't realize it until right now when I started to prepare for this video. So we're going to experiment, and we're going to do what we can to see what we can get worked out. The problem is, the reason why I went for this case in the first place was, first of all, it was 1/3 off. Okay, so that was, I mean it was only 1/3 the price. It was like 66% off. That was pretty awesome. It's used, and well, I don't know if it's used, but it has a dent on it right here. I don't know if you can see that dent right there. It's a scratch and dent sale. I said, I don't care about that dent. You know, who cares? Dents don't bother me. Oh, let me tell you why I really considered it. That's not the reason why I considered it, not the price. The reason why I considered it is because of the drive slots, but because, okay, you've got your door that conceals your drives. I don't care about that either. I was just happy to see 2 USB in the front. Yeah, I'm weird. You got your 2 USB and your USB 3 up front, and I was excited about that. I don't know why. There's a lot of open area. There's a couple of fans here built in. There's a fan there built in, and the fact that it is taller, okay, I should be able to fit my second video card. That's really what I was trying to do, is get my second video card to fit. It would not fit in this Acer. Once I put the motherboard in, my second video card was so close to the bottom that it wouldn't plug in straight. So I was unable to put my second video card into this one. Okay, well, let's get started swapping the parts out. Oh yeah. Here's the problem, right? The problem is on my Acer. Okay, I don't know if you can't see that yet. Okay, on my Acer, right? Okay, I've got this concealed panel right here, which, you know, you open up this trap door, and you've got all these card slots right here. You know, you got your SD slot, your SD micros, your all these other, well, the other ones I don't ever use, but I do use this SD slot a lot, and that's mainly for like transferring video from my camera onto the computer so that I could upload it to YouTube, right? Okay, well, this obviously doesn't have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this module out of this, and I'm going to attempt to find a spot for it over here. And then if I have to, I'll even sit it on the external somewhere if I have to, just so that I'll be able to continue to use that module. All right, let's get to swapping. Let me move the camera so you can kind of see everything that I'm doing. Now, Parasite, this is mainly for you, so that you can see the different components. I'm not going to show you exactly how to do this. I mean, if you glean some information on how to do this off of this, that would be great. But what I am going to show is which components I'm actually using. Okay, just so you can kind of see the crampedness of this little case. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but you can see there's my video card right here, and then look at all these cables from this power supply up here. I don't have any place to put them, and then there's all my memory over here, and then there's the additional fan that I added right here. Then I've got my hard drive here and my 2 disk drives there, and it was just too tight. You can't breathe in there, right? Air won't circulate or flow. There's no lower venting, there's no forward venting, and the back venting is very minimal, and there's obviously no upper venting. So with the new case, I'm looking forward to having a lot of venting. Okay, so let me just start unplugging everything and getting it out. Alright, pair set. This is one of the items that I am using. I am using the Gigabyte 660 GTX 6660 GeForce. It's an NVIDIA graphics card, and that is my graphics processor. Okay, I have two styles of memory in here. It's better, you know, if you have the same style or at least the same speed, but it's okay. And then you put them in pairs. Make sure you alternate them so that they, you know, depending on your motherboard. But I have 2 sticks of Corsair, the Vengeance. It comes with a heatsink to keep the memory cool, and that's 4 gigabytes. And then I've got the Genesis HyperX, also 4 gigabytes, comes with a aluminum heatsink around it also, and I have a total of 16 gigabytes of RAM. Some people say you don't need that much, but I said more is better. Hard drive. I use a Western Digital. This is only a 640 gigabyte hard drive, but that's why I have an external 1 terabyte hard drive. Also, Parasite, you wanted to know what kind of motherboard this is right here. This is a Gigabyte Z77M, and it's got the digital 3D high definition built in, but I'm not using that. I'm of course using a graphics card. It's ultra durable, has all these slots, and it uses the LGA 1155 slot, which is the processor slot, and the processor that I'm using is the Intel i7. Now I'm only using the 3770 cost effective. You know, it gives me the i7 processing with the really good speed, more than the 333 or whatever it was. This is 377. So this comes with a heatsink fan and heatsink, but I didn't use it. I used this Thermalake heat-sinking fan. The power supply that I'm using is the Corsair 700. This provides a lot more power than I probably need. I probably only need about 400, but my understanding is having more power will allow your items never to run out of juice. I mean, they're never going to, you know, like if you have a 400 and you just needed that 420 just for that 1 second, at least the 700 would be able to provide that for you. As I expand my system, I'll be able to add things, and the 700 will still be able to keep up. I won't have to upgrade my power supply for a long time. Plus, because it's 700, it runs a lot cooler than if I had a 400 and I needed 400, because then it would be running at maximum all the time. This is only running about half. It's always good to have a magnetized screwdriver for stuff like this, so that when you are having to lift small parts like these screws out, you can just rely on the magnet. Now, I like to be gentle with motherboards because that is your main, your nervous system. Okay, it's not, oh, it's, okay, gotcha. Okay, the motherboard wants to be a little stubborn. Right down in there, it's hanging on to one of those screws. So I just got me a little pick hook right there where I can reach under the motherboard and lift it up over the thing. There it is. And that should allow me to lift it up and out. Up and out. Alright, one of the first things you do is you take the back plate from your motherboard and you place it into the case. Now these back plates, from my understanding, they are all pretty much universal, and there's no, you know, they're all the same size. I think Moordale asked me if I had water-cooled system. Well, I don't, but I do have a gel-cooled video card. I didn't even realize it was gel-cooled until I just opened it up. I mean, I had forgotten. You know. Okay, there was a lesson learned. Same as my other case. Even though this case is so gigantic, I still had to not have the motherboard in there when I was sliding the CD drive, the DVD drive in there. If I'm sliding the DVD drive in, you've got to have room for it to play around back here, and I didn't have that room with the motherboard being there. Wow, this thing's going in there like easy peasy. As opposed to, okay, there's even some spots there if I wanted to screw it in so that it wouldn't wobble. Okay, sorry for that delay putting this CD drive in, but let's go ahead and put the motherboard back in. Line it up with the slots in the back. Now if you notice, I've been applying a little bit of tension. That's because the back plate has little pieces of metal that stick out to press against your motherboard. That's to ground it. You've got your primaries and secondaries. That's the blue and the white. And then I've got my Corsair, and I'm going to put the Kingstons in the twos. DDR3 memory is what this card uses. There are a variety of different types of memories, but DDR3 is pretty much standard right now. Now, this case comes with a few things. It comes with a power button, obviously, a reset button, the USBs in the front, which is right here. The USB 3 cable is this one. Now, I have to find my USB. See, the USB 3s here are a different type of plug, it looks like. Oh, there's USB 3, and I bet you that's this one. Nice. I bet you I could plug that right in there. See, I told you I was no expert. Okay. Luckily, the things are labeled on the... Okay. See now... see how this cable's now going to be in the way? I don't like that. So what I've been thinking about doing is running it through here and then back up and down, just to keep the cables out of the way. This Corsair power supply, look at the giant fan right there. That giant fan was blowing into nowhere. This also lights up. Just thought I'd let you know that. When I put this in, now this fan is going to be able to blow out the bottom right here. This bottom plate, which actually comes out if you want to clean a filter. Oh, now it's getting heavy. Power supply really added a lot of weight to it. Here we go. Now all the weight is actually resting on the bottom. So the power supply is in. Now these are not being SLI'd together. I'm going to be doing using the NVIDIA graphics. It's a software, and it's going to allow me to split programming between the two video cards. Processing time, I should say, between the two video cards. At the very end of this, I'm going to do a little quick tutorial on that, if it posts. But I'm going to do a little quick tutorial on that and then kind of show you what's up. Okay, so right now I am going to be running power to all my devices, and I'm going to try to utilize the back of the panel to hide the power cables also. Okay, variety of things. What needs power? My video cards need power. Okay, I did a quick test. It did post. But I still want to go ahead and get this module placed in there, and I can see that there's no way I'm going to be able to plug these in with this video card sitting right where it's at. So what I need to do is take this video card out, plug it in, then put this video card right back where it belongs. Alright guys, I've got all the wires in, all the plugs plugged. I got my hard drive plugged in, power, and to the motherboard. I've got the CD drive, got that, just doing a visual count of everything, got the fans plugged in, got everything plugged in. Alright, and that's the contents of this computer. Now let's go ahead and plug everything in and turn it on, and I'll do a little tutorial for you.
Alright, this is the final part of the video where I'm going to show you how I use the NVIDIA control panel to what do you call it? Set PhysX configuration. Okay, now we go to I'm using variety of different settings, obviously, but when you go to set PhysX configuration, it asks you to select which card you want to actually process your PhysX processing, okay? Now, because I have two video cards plugged in, I can use the 660, but the 660 is busy processing the game, where the GTS 250 is doing nothing. It's just sitting there. So I can actually select GTS 260, what do you call it, 250, and if you look down here, selecting a GPU, that's a graphics processing unit, allows to increase physics processing and may increase overall performance in games. Choose auto select to let NVIDIA use the best processor. Typical uses of play in 3D games that support PhysX. So basically I am switching it to the GTS 250, and it applied the changes, right? Adjust video settings, right, color, everything else is set up the way it should be, because my main processor is this 660 and that's what it's plugged into. Apply those settings, not that there's a whole lot of them. Desktop configuration, would you like to keep these changes? Yes. Okay, now we're going to get out of that, and that's it. That's the setting up this Antec case with all the guts that I had that I upgraded, and that was for you mainly, Parasite. Okay, enjoy it and see you on the battlefield.